Students, now we can study about parathyroid glands. So already we have studied thyroid gland and pituitary gland. Now next topic is parathyroid gland. So parathyroid gland also they are the endocrine glands. So they are small endocrine glands. You can see and associate with the thyroid gland. This is a thyroid gland. This is posterior view of the thyroid gland. This is pharynx. This is esophagus. Okay. So here we can see this is our thyroid gland. So then posterior border of this is the posterior border of the thyroid gland, and the posterior border of the thyroid gland we can see two small nodules. They are the parathyroid glands. So here we can see, here also this side also there are two nodules can be seen. So these two are the superior parathyroid gland and these two are the inferior parathyroid gland. So there are two pairs of parathyroid gland, superior right and left parathyroid gland, inferior right and left parathyroid glands. So total 4 parathyroid glands can be seen in our body. And these parathyroid glands, they are seen usually lies in the posterior border of the thyroid gland within the false capsule. So we told now there is two capsules for the thyroid gland, true capsule and false capsule. So these parathyroid glands can be seen between the true capsule and the false capsule. The superior parathyroid glands are also known as parathyroid 4 because they develop from the endoderm of the fourth pharyngeal pouch during development. And these parathyroid glands will secrete parathormone, which controls the metabolism of calcium and phosphorus along with the thyrocalcitonin. Then each parathyroid gland is a small oval shaped gland. It's an oval shaped gland or lentiform in shape, and it has a measure of about 6 millimeter length, 4 centimeter thickness, and 4 centimeter breadth, and 4 millimeter breadth and 2 millimeter thickness. So that much small glands they are. So they have a size of a split pea, okay, half part of a pea. So it is a small gland, millimeter, only 6 millimeter length, then 4 millimeter broad and 2 millimeter in thickness. Okay. Then so that is the measurement, and it weighs about 50 milligram, only 50 milligram in weight. Okay. And position, the superior parathyroid glands can be seen usually lies in the middle of the posterior border. Superior parathyroid gland lies in the middle of the posterior border of the thyroid gland. Okay, it lies at the junction of the anastomosis within the superior thyroid artery and inferior thyroid artery. Okay, this is the superior parathyroid gland, and this almost more constant in position, superior parathyroid gland, but inferior parathyroid gland will be variable in position. Okay, here we can see the inferior parathyroid gland. This is the normal position, so it can be seen towards the within the thyroid capsule below the inferior thyroid artery. This is the inferior thyroid artery, so it can be seen below the inferior thyroid artery, and then at the near the lower pole of the lateral lobe, lower pole, near the lower pole of the lateral lobe. Okay. And sometimes it can be seen below the thyroid gland here normally. Sometimes we can see this outside the thyroid capsule, then below the thyroid gland. Here also sometimes we can see the parathyroid glands. Okay, so the position of the inferior parathyroid gland may vary. Then blood supply of this parathyroid gland. This parathyroid receives blood supply from the thyroid gland, that is inferior thyroid artery, mostly from the inferior thyroid artery, and partly from the superior thyroid artery. And venous drainage also and lymphatics are also associated with the same thyroid gland. So it drains this parathyroid gland also. It is drained by the thyroid veins. Then regarding the nerve supply of parathyroid gland, so it receives its vasomotor supply from the middle and superior cervical ganglion, from the sympathetic ganglion, okay, cervical sympathetic ganglion. And this parathyroid gland will function in according to the level of calcium amount in the blood calcium level. Okay, if the blood calcium level is low, it will stimulate the parathyroid gland. So parathyroid gland will secrete parathormone, and if the calcium level is high in the blood, it will inactivate the gland. The gland become inactive. Okay, so that is the control or nerve supply of the parathyroid gland. Then coming to the histology of the parathyroid gland. So this is the picture showing the histology of parathyroid gland. This is our thyroid gland. We can see thyroid gland and parathyroid are separated by the true capsule. Okay, so this is the parathyroid gland, and parathyroid gland comprises of two type of cells. Okay, here we can see main cells. There is numerous cells. They are known as chief cells, and also large pink shaped cells can be seen. They are known as oxyphil cells. So two types of cells can be seen in the parathyroid gland: chief cells and the oxyphil cells. And these chief cells will secrete the parathormone. Parathormone is secreted by the chief cells. Okay. And the oxyphil cells, they are large cells. They can be seen as group or as individual. They are highly stained chromophil cells, but the function is not known. Okay. And the number of cells will increase depend upon the increase of the age also. So this is the histology of parathyroid gland. Okay. Then regarding the applied aspect of the parathyroid gland, sometimes tumors can be seen in the parathyroid gland, and it may lead to excessive secretion of parathormone. If there is excessive secretion of the parathormone, it will lead to increased removal of calcium from the bone, making them weak and liable to fracture. The calcium level in the blood will increase. That condition is known as hypercalcemia, and there will be increased urinary excretion of calcium. That is, calcium will be excreted through urine, and it can be lead to formation of kidney stones in the urinary tract. Then if second condition is hypothyroidism, that also can occur if there is any accidental removal of the gland. So there won't be any secretion of parathormone, leads to the low level of calcium in the blood. Okay. So this can occur along with the removal of thyroid gland. If we are removing the thyroid gland, along with the thyroid gland, if we accidentally remove the parathyroid gland also, it will leads to hyperparathyroidism. That is, decreased calcium level in the blood. Okay. So these are the applied aspect of the parathyroid glands.